This is Corey Willis with PPEI, and you're listening to the Diesel Podcast.
I'm Adam Blattenberg from Diesel World.
This is Dan, owner of Dan's Diesel Performance.
I'm Kaz from Diesel Doctor of Tennessee, and you're listening to the Diesel Podcast.
What is going on, Diesel Nation? We're excited to have you guys with us today on the #1 diesel truck podcast on iTunes. And on this episode, we're going to be chatting with Travis Trent, and he's got a really cool Fummins truck. We had him on the podcast last year for the UCC Qualifier. Well, he's in this year, and he's going to be telling us all that he's changed, and the truck has changed a lot since last year. So what he's done, who's helped him out, and what his goals are, and what he would define as a successful UCC competition. And so we know you guys are going to love this episode. We want to give a special shout out to Alligator Performance. They've done a ton for UCC. They're going to be there at the event, and they've got an amazing sale going on. Like it's like Black Friday kind of sale. So if you're there, make sure you stop by the booth, or you can go to alligatorperformance.com if you're not going to be at the event, and you can still take advantage of those sales. All right, let's get to the podcast with Travis. Travis, it's fantastic to have you back on the Diesel Podcast. It's UCC week, and everyone's excited to see all the trucks out there competing, and we wanted to chat with you about your truck and how the last few weeks have been, and just what it's like to be a competitor getting ready to go on the biggest stage in diesel performance.
Yeah, I was glad to be on. It's pretty crazy. It's a lot of work.
We had you on last year to talk about your truck. For our listeners that didn't catch it, tell us a little bit about what year it is, what kind of engine you got, and setup, and what it's been like bringing that all together this week.
It's a 2005 two-door short bed F250. Was a 6-liter, was two-wheel drive, was a long bed. We cut it, swapped it to a common rail Cummins, 2006 common rail Cummins. Pretty much a full-blown race truck. We've done a lot of work to it this winter. We replaced the floor, firewall. Totally gutted pretty much the whole entire truck. Everything on the whole entire truck is chromoly now. Obviously, besides it still has a factory frame, but went to a actual slick this year instead of a drag radial. Lighter rims, built aluminum hubs, Willwood brakes, the works. So we dropped hopefully close to 1,000 pounds. We didn't get a chance to weigh it, but we hopefully dropped close to 1,000 pounds this winter.
Yeah, that's awesome. You've been working on this thing, for a while, and some of our listeners out there, and just fans in general, which we don't know the full story behind the trucks. We just see you guys going out there and competing in the live feeds, or if we're there and at the event watching the trucks. But there's months that go into this.
Yeah. And we hit an auto show in Cleveland, and the truck wasn't done, but it was good enough, and so we kind of had a little previous deadline before UCC, but now we flew Chris Nelson in from Energetic Motorsports to wire the truck, and he's been here for almost a month now, wiring another UCC truck and my truck in the same shop. So
nice.
He got it running. He's doing my tuning and everything like that. So
yeah, he does some amazing work. He's very sharp, and
he's sharp as can be. I mean, he's fun to work with. I mean, we had a good time.
And what has the last week been like? Since the truck, you've been working on it a while, you got it, kind of where you want. What have you been focusing on?
And it always seems like you build the truck, you get it close, and you hit that point when you're like, it just never ends. It's like never-ending little things. I mean, you need this little part and this little part, and there's still a couple things on the truck that we're like, crap, we should have got. You know what I mean? But it's where I was in that stage for that past week of we need this, stuff like that, and because the truck was running and driving, I made a few hits in it and stuff like that, but it's just little thing after little thing after little thing, but it's good to go now. So
a lot of the guys have been saying that the trailer part's been one of the hardest. Like, what do I take? What kind of spare should I have? And some guys just like, I threw everything in some bins and we hit the road.
Yeah, I got my trailer 100% packed full of everything spare that I have, and Brad from Daniel Performance Diesel, he's got a trailer full of spare parts, and that's where my truck's been for the past couple weeks, and it's it's just crazy. It's too much, honestly.
Now, before everything starts and like the excitement and just the crowds and everything like that, and you step back for a second, what are your goals for this event? What are some things you want to see the truck do?
My main goal is to make it all 3 days. Last year in the qualifier, we made it all 3 days without a single issue. That was real luck. But if we can make it all 3 days without any major failures, I'll be pretty happy. If we can crack a 5-second pass in the 8th, I'd be happy. If we can make 1,400, 1,500 horse, I'll be happy. And if we can pull over 250 foot, I'd be real happy too. So we put some 500% injectors in it from S&S and 12 millimeter pumps from, we've got an Xtreme pump on there. And it's got the fuel to do it. I don't really have the short block to be able to handle that. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of get it tuned down a little bit. And we got a new turbo on the truck this year, a bigger single than last year. Last year we had an 80 millimeter. Now we have a Tater built 88 millimeter. So we got the air and the fuel. We just don't have the short block for it. So we're going to tame it down a little bit, try to keep it alive.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun truck to watch. I remember last year when we talked and when your episode was out there, people loved the truck and just how it looked, and then the performance, that you put on. And, if you look back to last year and then, looking to this year, do you feel like the experience that you gained is going to be something that's really going to pay some dividends for you, or maybe give you a little bit of an edge in the standings?
Yeah, the experience was a little bit better. I'm not a sled puller. I mean, I've never sled pulled really before, so that was the very first time I've ever sled pulled really, especially with a truck with any type of power. Last year at UCC was the first time I ever drove the truck. The farthest it drove was from my shop onto the trailer last year. I mean, we didn't get it really ready until a couple hours before we left. So that was really it's at least this year I have some seat time. Last year I didn't have but, 20 minutes of seat time. So I feel a little more confident with it. I've spent a lot more time with it. Had a lot more eyes on it. A lot of more experienced guys helped me this year with it. I think it's a good, solid truck. I don't think it's a top 5 contender, but I think it's a good, solid truck, and that's all I really asked for.
You'd mentioned, the input and the eyes that were on the truck, and I wanted to ask you, who are some people or some companies that have really helped you over the last year bring this truck together and get it, to where it is and get your confidence level, with the truck?
The main person is my best friend Kyle. I mean, he's a damn artist. I mean, he's the one that does all the fabrication work. He made my floor and firewall. We bought a bead roller and a brake and a shear and all this stuff so he could build all the aluminum and stuff like that. And he's just an artist. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, he's a great TIG welder. He's just a fabricator. I mean, there's no way in the world I could ever make it as far as I did without him being on my team. I mean, there's just no way. I mean, there's guys that help and stuff like that, and I appreciate everything, but there's nobody that can replace Kyle on my team. There's just no way around it. I got my other best friend Josh, Clancy Performance Diesel. He's helped me a bunch, and he actually fixed my truck to tow my damn truck there. So he had to put a new engine in my tow rig, so he did that for me. And my buddy Jacob does the trans tuning. Can't forget about Sam Wise, builds that transmission for me. You can't beat that. I mean, I know when I go out there that transmission's fine and I don't have to worry about it. I know if something does happen, I know he put his best effort into it. And then Daniel from Daniel Performance Diesel, they've let me keep my truck at the shop for the past couple weeks. While Nelson was there, Nelson's been staying at the shop, so he's been wiring their UCC truck and mine. And, Brad helps me no matter what. He opened up his shop to me, let me use a rack whenever I wanted to, let me use all the parts I ever wanted to, whatever I wanted to do. I mean, he let me do whatever I wanted. So, and then one of my other big sponsors is Diesel Conversion Specialists. They help out. That Dennis, the owner, he calls me, asks me if I need anything regularly. Whatever I need, he gets for me. It's normally not too much, but, they're concerned and they want to help. So that all helps out. I mean, it's everybody has a play in it, and Goren came on this year for sponsorship for converters, so I got a couple converters in the trailer. I know I'm forgetting somebody, but everybody's had a part in it. Everybody that's helped me, I appreciate it.
And it's so cool to to have heard your story, from last year with the qualifier to this year, where the truck's at, what you've been able to do with it. I know there's a ton of people out there that are gonna be watching, and it has us pumped up. Like we want to see the truck go out there and perform well, and you be happy with it. So we know that it's crunch time and you guys are busy and getting ready for everything. But we appreciate your time today, giving us an insight, into what it's like to get the truck ready, and wish you the best of luck out there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Pray for no rain. Hopefully no rain. But if it does rain, we'll deal with the best of it. But hopefully, if we can make it through all 3 days, that's the big thing. There's going to be a lot of trucks. Hopefully not, but there's always going to be trucks that don't make it all 3 days. So if you can make it all 3 days, you're just that far ahead of the game.
Don't forget, Diesel fans, make sure and head on over to alligatorperformance.com, take advantage of their UCC sale, or if you're going to be there, just stop by their booth. They've got a ton of different parts, different manufacturers that are on sale, so it's a great time to take advantage of it, especially this early in the year. Till next time, keep the shiny side up.